true, again, massive representation of the whiskers and the head compared to the rest of the body. So you can really tell quite a lot about what these animals find important by how much of their brain is dedicated to dealing with information coming from various parts of their bodies. Indeed, if we want to put some numbers on this, the star-nosed mole actually has 100,000 touch receptors in its nose, which is at least 6 times the maximum you've got in your fingertips. Raccoons, of course, which I've often mentioned in this context, are very similar. I won't show you the actual data for it, but they have extremely sensitive hands which are capable, again, of finding prey underwater, as well as, of course, as we all know, from dustbins. They have, again, a huge representation of their hands in their cortex. Now, these extra senses of touch, of course, will help the animal do what it has to do, but at the same time they're going to provide them with enhanced abilities to detect things like vibrations from the earth, be able very, very much more easy to pick up, or changes in wind direction and things like the velocity of the wind as well. So they'll have some other sort of advantages in terms of sensing what's going on in the environment compared to ourselves. But the other thing, of course, there is a downside. You turn up the gain in a particular system, you also turn up the potential for pain. So they are going to be much more sensitive to pain in these particular parts of their bodies. And moving along from that to the other senses, which animals are well known in many ways to have greater sensitivities than ourselves, particularly smell anyway, but taste and smell should really be considered in this context together. They are clearly the senses that are of greatest importance for survival in most mammals, particularly in terms of detecting what's good or bad to eat. Without them, you'll find that extremely difficult. And in fact, they sometimes at least work in combination, which is how we experience flavour, and it's how animals experience flavour as well. Flavour is actually a mixture of taste and smell perception, and also, in fact, touch on the tongue. But the interesting thing is that the taste sensitivity is much, much less than smell. In fact, when you appreciate flavour, probably 75% of that is smell, which is why when you have a cold, you seem to lose your sense of taste. And equally, if you decide to sort of hold on to your nose and you put a potato pit or an apple in your mouth, you won't be able to tell the difference between them, but you'll have no trouble if you unblock your nose. The receptors for this are these papillae, just shown with a rather garish-looking blue tongue here. You can see